Hello and welcome to the print video. India is one of the largest manufacturers and suppliers of generic drugs globally. Yet, there have been several instances when Indian drug makers have been under the scanner for supplying substandard drugs outside India. Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance or IPA has been doing things about it. So, to discuss how quality related issues are being addressed in the sector, we have with us Sudarshan Jain, who is the Secretary General of the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, a network of top Indian drug makers. Welcome to the print, sir. Over the
Thank you
past
very much.
over the last 2-3 years, the image of Indian drug makers seem to have taken a beating due to various episodes of substandard drug being supplied in other countries. How do you see that, and how do you think Indian pharma companies are addressing that concern?
Thank you very much, Sumi. Let me give the context of IPA and what IPA has been doing.
Yes.
IPA consists of 23 top companies,
Mm-hmm.
which contribute 60% of domestic sales,
Mm-hmm.
80% of exports, and 85% of R&D expenditure in India. Maximum number of US FDA plants outside USA are from India, and maximum number of ANDA applications are from India. We supply, as you rightly said, to 200 countries, and 20% of the generic production takes place from India. Plants are relatively, yes, there are always, when you talk of 10,000 manufacturers, there can be bad ship. Overall, I will say Indian companies, particularly IPA companies, have been known for supplying affordable quality medicines around the world. We have to be conscious of the fact that many of the patients today, whether they are suffering from HIV, cancer, diabetes, cardiovasculars, they are relying on medicines supplied from India, and they are surviving because of great contribution of Indian industry. Because Indian industry is known for supplying affordable, quality-driven medicines.
Yeah.
So India is known as the pharmacy of the world, and India is committed to supply quality assured medicine.
Yeah. So, IPA is about to host the 10th edition of the Global Pharmaceutical Quality Summit, which is happening later this month in Mumbai. Would you like to talk about, what does this summit hope to achieve, and also how this particular edition, will be different from the previous editions?
So IPA has been doing this summit for last decade. This is
Mm-hmm.
the 10th summit, and it is a major milestone.
Mm-hmm.
McKinsey has been our knowledge partner, and during this summit, we will release the report of India's shaping the operation environment around the world, shaping the future of India's pharmaceutical operations. That will be the report which will be released, highlighting what India has done in the manufacturing sector and what is the journey going forward. If we
Okay.
look at last 10 years, this is the only platform where the global regulators from all over the world comes together, whether it is US, Europe, Japan, India, everyone comes together. And there is an opportunity to have a dialogue, what can be done to improve the quality and ensure the accessibility of quality medicine. So we'll continue that focus there.
Yeah.
Second focus is this is the time when we have also got other industry experts like defense, auto, Quality Council of India, and other sectors like from financial sectors, that what each sector can learn from each other to advance the quality agenda forward. Because our Viksit Bharat agenda of 2047 cannot be realized unless all sectors are committed to quality, and pharma can also learn from other sectors and other sectors can learn from pharma. That is the second aspect of the summit. Third aspect of the summit is compared to earlier times, we have also got academic experts this year from IIM, Bombay, from NIPUS, from Indian School of Business, and they will provide a fresh perspective of looking at quality from a broader dimension. So we are, as far as this summit is concerned, it is a benchmark summit in quality worldwide. It gets together industry experts, it gets together regulatory experts, it gets together thought leaders, and they discuss what can be done to take the agenda to the next level. I'm sure all of you will find this summit very insightful and very forward looking. We have
Yeah.
also got the advantage this year to have Drug Controller General of India, Dr. Rajiv Raghuvanshi, and we have also invited this year Dr. Arvind Virmani, who is the member Niti Aayog, Government of India, who will be talking, who looks after industry growth. So how pharma can help to advance the agenda to take quality agenda forward for India.
Yeah, that's really interesting, sir. So, regulatory framework worldwide has been evolving. How is Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, adapting to meet global quality standards? Companies also doing the same. And what role do you think, IPA may be playing there in this evolution process?
So IPA has been playing a fundamental role over the years. If you see the audits which have been taking place over the years, the number of observations have decreased. We have made a significant progress, and we'll be presenting the data on 27th. Uh, there were earlier issues of data integrity. We have been focusing on that. We have been focusing on root cause analysis. We have been focusing on building the overall infrastructure, not only manufacturing infrastructure, but other supporting infrastructure to advance the quality agenda. We have been learning and taking forward the agenda. Over the years, there have been a lot of infusion of technology, infusion of global talent to take the quality agenda forward. And hence, it has been a journey, and quality is never a destination, I would say, because the technology is evolving, the practices are evolving, the regulations are evolving, the new product portfolio is developing, and you have to constantly adapt and learn to take the quality agenda forward.
Yeah. So integration of digital technologies in many areas, not only pharmaceuticals, is also going to a new level altogether. Now we hear a lot about things like AI and data analytics. So how is that influencing quality management and compliance in pharmaceutical, particularly in the Indian context?
To me, I would like to say that pharma industry has taken a big leap, and you may be aware about the project Lighthouse manufacturing plant. In fact, Dr. Reddy and Cipla have
Hmm.
created two project Lighthouse plant where everything is mechanized, and they have been regarded as top 15 plants around the world among all the sectors. So we have moved forward significantly in terms of induction of technology, and perhaps COVID played a very important role. What we achieved in 2 years in COVID, we could not have achieved in 10 years. So that is the type of induction which the technology has undertaken. All the systems are integrated today. SOPs are aligned. You can know on the shop floor level what all is happening, and there is a SOP induction, there is SAP introduction, there is all system integration, which has taken forward overall agenda of quality management.
Yeah, that's really, really important. And let's hope that, once the full benefit of these digital technologies kick in, where the quality in Indian pharmaceutical industry really improves. Now, we'll come to the relationship between US and India in the context of pharmaceutical supplies. There has always been a very strong pharmaceutical trade ties between these two countries. So, how is IPA working on strengthening this collaboration further, especially in the context of quality standards, regulatory harmonization, and innovations?
Thank you very much, Sumi, for this question. As you know, we have been working very closely with US FDA. US FDA regulators, they are significant part of the quality summit. They present whatever the latest which is happening in the field of quality. They talk about their observations in various audits which are taking place. They talk about the best practices globally, and it has been a great learning for us over the years as far as US regulators are concerned. We also go to US every year. Our CEOs, we see time from the global leaders also, and present our viewpoint and learn from them what can be further done as far as quality standards are concerned. Some of the good practices which we have started this year, whatever 483 observations are there, we ask the companies to share what action are being taken and what are these observations. So you
This
learn
didn't
from,
happen earlier. This sort of.
pardon, sorry.
So I'm trying to understand this didn't happen earlier. You didn't really
This,
ask it.
this did happen earlier, only last 12 months. We started this practice. That 23 member companies, because the question is which industry each one will like to share with the competitor what happened in the
Yeah,
observation,
absolutely. Yeah.
right? So we have been able to build that trust for me. All the companies, they are able to build that trust and share that this happened in the audit. This is our learning, and this is the way forward for us. This is number one, which we started this year. Over the years, you may be aware that we are having group from various member companies, and they identify one or two topics every year, three topics every year, where members from across the companies work together, develop our position as far as that area is concerned, and the same is presented in the conference. Now, which other sectors, competitor companies are sitting together as far as quality agenda is concerned and taking the whole agenda forward. So we have reports on the data integrity, we have reports on nitrosamine impurities. We will be releasing this year, in fact, nitrosamine impurities. We will be talking of stacking systems for packaging. Now, all these are very live and important issues from patient perspective, from quality perspective. They are being discussed by the companies and presented in the conference. The advantage is if the companies themselves are involved in preparing the recommendation, their commitment to that area will be high and they will be able to implement it better on the ground. So this is the second big thing which has happened over a period of time.
Okay. So since we're talking about India-US relationship in the context of pharmaceutical industry, I would also like to take this opportunity to ask you about this recent announcement made by the Trump administration about a chance to probably impose tariffs on pharma products going to the US from India, reciprocal tariffs, though it's not really finalized yet, but there is an indication now. Also related is one another important study which just came out 2 3 days back, and it's making a lot of news. Is a set of researchers finding out that generic drugs made in India, which were supplied to US, were not as safe as those made in the US. Very important study. So, would you like to take these questions and answer? What do you think about the tariff related announcement, and also what would you say about this study which has just come
So I will answer the first question first.
out?
Uh, as we all know that US and India are very strong trade partners, and and our relationship with US has improved over a period of time. In fact, we export to US around $170 billion, and the trade deficit with US is around 36 to $40 billion. Now, the question which is being raised by Trump administration is how the trade deficit can be reduced and also how the trade between both the companies can be increased. In fact, the overall vision has been set up of $500 billion. And we have been talking that there have to be cooperation in the field of biotechnology, there have to be cooperation in the field of AI, and there should be cooperation in the field of resilient supply chain. Trust initiative, what is being talked about. If you see, we supply the 90% of medicines in the US is generic, which account for 14% of the value sales, and 10% of innovative drugs account for 86% of the sales. So we are supplier of quality and affordable medicine to the US. 14% value, 90% volume. In
Okay.
terms of India, it is 47% of generic drugs, right?
Mhm.
47% of generic drugs are supplied from India. And they include oncology product, they include diabetes product, they include cardiovascular product, right? And just to give the example, rosuvastatin, which is a drug for cardiac area,
Cholesterol.
cholesterol reduction, you are absolutely right. When the price was reduced, the penetration goes up double the time. Around 28 million patients were added. And that is the kind of difference which India makes to the US citizens, that we bring affordable medicine, which improves the access and contain the issues like cardiac, diabetes. They are major issues around the world. Cancer products, diabetes, insulins now being talked at a tolerant cost. So fundamental difference to the economy and the healthcare needs of the US. We get around $200 billion saving as far as US is concerned. The key question for all of us is, although we are developed supplying formulation, both US and India depend on APIs from China. So there is a question of medicine security, there is a question of nation security, there is a question of health security. There cannot be nation security unless there is health security. So what is being proposed, and it is being acknowledged in the joint statement, that resilient supply chain has to be created for APIs. So both the countries will work together to advance the agenda of resilient supply chain. In case of India, we already launched PLI scheme. We are seeing the outcome of PLI scheme in APIs like penicillin, azithromycin, cotrimoxazole, and we will see further losing the dependence on China over a period of time. That's a good point. That has been acknowledged in the discussion. Also acknowledged in the discussion that tariffs will be examined for both the countries and reciprocal tariffs will be imposed. Now we have to understand what is the definition of reciprocal
Mhm.
tariff. It is category by category or it is at an overall level. How will it be decided? That is an area which is under discussion. You are aware that as far as medicines are concerned, government already reduced the tariff for many of the oncology products. Like
Mhm.
the budget, this budget as well as last budget.
36, yeah, 36 now, and I think five earlier, five drugs,
Yeah,
five.
every year. So there may be around say $500 million. We import around $800 million. $500 million may have been. We don't have the exact calculation. We are getting it done. Already reduced, and others also. Even if it is reduced, the content of tariff is relatively low in case of pharma sector. We export around 8.5 billion, but our cost of medicine is so low and already there are shortages in US. So if you put tariffs, you will make them unviable and it will impact and have an effect on shortages. So the point which are being saying, we are saying, it is too early to talk. The discussions are going on between both the governments, and let's wait what final outcome comes in. But we are quite hopeful because both the countries have strong relationship. Both the countries have democratic setup, and both the countries will follow the method which will help the patients in both the countries.
Yeah. Would you like to take the other question also? I asked about, that new research pointing out at the comparison between the generics made in India and the US, and the research saying that, the
I have
ones.
not seen I have not seen this report, but our data says that there is significant improvement in the quality parameters and observation. We'll present that information to you on 27th. We are still getting and analyzing that data, right? There is a significant commitment. You are aware that the CEOs of the companies themselves join and do the concluding session as far as the summit is concerned, which
Mhm.
shows high degree of credibility and commitment of Indian CEOs of to quality. Let me once again reinforce quality is fundamental as far as healthcare is concerned. Quality is a license to operate in the healthcare industry, and all our CEOs leadership team is committed to it, and both in terms of technology, both in terms of capability building, and also raising the overall standards.
Yeah, that's really important and reassuring. Let's hope that the commitment which the companies are showing is also reflected in products which are supplied in other countries as well as in India. Really appreciate that, Mr. Jan, you could take out time and talk to us on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to me, and look forward meeting all of you on 27th in
Yeah,
the conference and 26th for media interaction.
thanks, sir. Thanks. Bye.